Chelsea are entering the final stage of one of the craziest transfer window yet. Enzo Fernandez could leave for £120 million with Manchester City cycling. Pedro Neto is attracting Premier League interest. Badiashile is heading to Napoli. Delap is available for £50 million plus, and Tosin is also attracting interest. We have a lot to break down, but before we dive into it, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drift. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you another Chelsea transfer saga, because the Enzo Fernandez is getting out of control. Because apparently being a Chelsea fan wasn't stressful enough already. Every summer there has to be one player whose future turns into a full-blown Netflix series. And this time, it looks like the player is Enzo Fernandez. 1 minute Enzo Fernandez is staying, the next minute Manchester City are interested, then Chelsea are relaxed, then Enzo's agent is speaking to Manchester City, then Chelsea wants £120 million, then City wants to negotiate, then Chelsea set a deadline. It's crazy. But underneath all this noise, this is actually a very simple question. Is Enzo Fernandez staying at Chelsea? And honestly, I don't think even Enzo Fernandez knows the answer right now. Let's start with Chelsea's position, because this is where things get interesting. According to the Athletic, Chelsea expects Enzo Fernandez to stay at Chelsea. That was the message coming from Athletic, and it's pretty clear. Chelsea expects Enzo to stay at the club. And then there's another interesting sign that Chelsea are serious about keeping him. Again, according to the Athletic, Enzo Fernandez is part of Chelsea's plan. A further indication of that is Enzo Fernandez paid his first visit to Cobham on Monday, even though he was scheduled to have his first training section following his World Cup holiday on Wednesday. Now, that might sound like a small thing, but it isn't. The guy was supposed to return later, yet he showed up early. And that tells me Enzo himself was preparing for the season. Then came another update. According to Nisa Cancela, Enzo Fernandez is due back in training today. His price remained £120 million. Should any team want to sign him, Chelsea won't budge on that valuation. And this is where Chelsea's position becomes very clear. They aren't putting Enzo on a shop window. They aren't begging City to come and take it. They're basically saying, if you want Enzo, you bring £120 million. And honestly, I like this. If you want Enzo, pay the money. Simple. And this even gets more interesting when you look at the actual offer, or should I say, the lack of it. According to Kenan Gill, Chelsea have received zero bid for Enzo Fernandez in the transfer window so far. The focus is now on the season ahead. Fixing and locking in the squad with Xabi Alonso will be working. Zero bid, not 80 million, not 100 million, not even a cheeky 105 million. Yet somehow we have spent days talking about whether Enzo is leaving Chelsea. And this is why transfer windows are hilarious. And then City entered the conversation. And this is where the story went from interesting to proper messy. According to Ghost and Eddie, Man City has concrete interest in Enzo Fernandez. It's no longer just a filler. Enzo Maresca knows him well and wants him. Enzo's future will be defined in days, and it's not confirmed he stays at Chelsea. Now, obviously, Enzo Maresca's connection makes this story even more interesting. Maresca knows Enzo. He knows his game. He knows what he can give a midfield. And if City genuinely wants him, you can understand why the manager would be interested. But Chelsea aren't exactly desperate to help City build another super team. Then came another big update. According to Fabrizio Romano, Enzo Maresca would love to reunite with Enzo Fernandez at Man City. The deal depends on price. Chelsea insists on a £120 million fee and would be happy to welcome Enzo back and keep him. And this is the key part. The deal depends on price. And then Fabrizio brought another important piece of information. As reported by Fabrizio Romano, Enzo Fernandez agent Java Pastore and Man City have spoken in recent days. And this is the part that makes me uncomfortable, because I actually like Enzo Fernandez. I think he's a very good midfielder, and I think there is a top player there. But his camp are starting to become a problem, and Xavi Pastore needs to understand something. This is Chelsea Football Club. If City wants Enzo, they need to pay the price, and Chelsea's position remains pretty clear. Then Fabrizio gave us another important update. According to Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea wants £120 million for Enzo Fernandez. But Man City on their side are not expected to spend this money. They hope there will be a room for negotiation. This is the situation. It can happen on price. So City wants Enzo, Chelsea wants £120 million. City don't want to pay £120 million, Chelsea don't want to negotiate. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is exactly what you want from a transfer saga. According to David Oistin of The Athletic, Chelsea have set a deadline of 5 p.m. this coming Friday for Man City to make an offer for Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea have said that if the £120 million valuation is not met by their deadline later today, he will be leaving the club. This is where Chelsea have to stand fair, because if we reduce the price, we will look weak. City spent £160 million on Elliot Anderson. So if they spend that kind of money on Anderson, then they can find another 4 million and get Enzo Fernandez to £120 million. I'm sorry, that's not a problem. And after everything surrounding Enzo Moresca's compensation, City can do this one. Pay up or move on. Chelsea cannot and should not reduce Enzo Fernandez's price. And this is why the next update matters. As reported by Miguel Delini, there has been a feeling that Man City could do a deal for Enzo Fernandez for around £105 million all in. But Chelsea are insistent on a clear £120 million. There you go. The £50 million difference is the battlefield. 15 million. And that's what this entire saga could come down to. Chelsea has made their position crystal clear. According to Macedon Smith, Chelsea also won't sell Enzo Fernandez in January. It's in or out for the whole season, £120 million by Friday. I actually like this approach because imagine selling Enzo Fernandez and trying to replace him halfway through the season. That's asking for trouble. So Chelsea are saying that we have basically made our decision, so make yours now. And Man City still hasn't even made an official offer. According to Simon Johnson, Chelsea said they have yet to receive a bid from Man City for Enzo Fernandez. Then Fabrizio followed it up. Still nothing on the Chelsea table for Enzo Fernandez. No official bid, but any moment this story could change. So here we are. No official bid, £120 million and a deadline. An interested City, an agent speaking to City, and Chelsea apparently not minding keeping the player. At this point, I honestly wouldn't be shocked if we get the here we go by the time this video comes out. Now, while Enzo is giving us headaches, Chelsea has another interesting situation. Pedro Neto. According to Nizza Chancellor, Pedro Neto has attracted interest from 4 Premier League clubs, with one believed to be Manchester City. Is not regarded as untouchable and will therefore move before the transfer deadline. Chelsea insists they will demand a significant fee for Neto. Now, this is where I have no problem with Chelsea being ruthless. If somebody wants Pedro Neto, get the maximum fee. I don't care if it's Man City, I don't care if it's Arsenal, and I don't care if it's Tottenham. I don't care who it is. If they want him, pay. And Chelsea have a reason for setting a high price. As supported by Nizza Chancellor, Chelsea believe that the market for wide forward has been inflated by a lack of option for leading clubs, highlighted by the £170 million fee for Morgan Rogers and PSG £145 million Bacola valuation. These figures has influenced Chelsea's valuation on Pedro Neto. And honestly, I agree, because the market is crazy. If clubs are spending ridiculous amounts on attacking players, we need to take advantage of that. Morgan Rogers going for £170 million has changed the conversation. Bacola being valued at £145 million changes it again. So if somebody come knocking for Neto, Chelsea needs to ask one simple question: how much are you paying? Because I'm not interested in us selling Neto for some £50 million bargain. City wants him, make them pay. If Arsenal wants him, make them pay. If another Premier League clubs want him, make them pay. Get the maximum fee. Now we get to the funniest part of the transfer. Benoit Badiashile. According to Fabrizio Romano, Benoit Badiashile to Napoli, here we go. Verbal agreements done with Chelsea, loan fee plus £850k in add-ons and a £23 million buy option clause. The salary is also covered. And honestly, Bleco are robbers, because somehow we could potentially get around £25 million for an injury-prone defender who has basically become surplus to requirements. That's good business. Say whatever you want about Chelsea's transfer strategy. You can complain about numbers of players, you can complain about the squad, but when it comes to selling, Bleco have shown that they know how to squeeze out the money when it comes to these deals. And if Napoli decides to make the move permanent, even better, off you go. Thank you very, very much. No hard feelings, just stay healthy and make the deal permanent, because we need to start clearing the squad. And that brings us to 2 more names. Liam Delap. According to Kenan Gill, Chelsea sources says they are valuing Liam Delap for £50 million plus. £50 million plus. Like I said, Bleco are criminals. Honestly, I think we should pay clubs to take Liam Delap off our hands. But then there is Tosin. As reported by Ben Jacobs, Tosin is drawing interest from Benfica and a number of Premier League clubs. And then Kenan Gill adds, no indication yet of Chelsea's valuation for Tosin, but he has interest from a number of Premier League clubs and Benfica. We have too many players, too many contracts, too many players who need minutes. So if club wants Tosin, let's talk. If club wants Pedro Neto, let's talk. If Napoli wants Badiashile permanently, let's talk. If somebody wants Enzo Fernandez for £120 million, let's also talk. And with that said, that's the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You will be.